So we are walking around a very special ground in East London.
Yeah.
Where are we?
You're at the Old Spotted Dog ground.
The Old Spotted Dog ground.
Yes, it's in Forest Gate, just off Upton Lane. You may have walked past it, driven past it, and never noticed it was here. It's
quite hidden. It's,
Yes,
it's slightly behind a row of houses, so it's down a side alley.
Yeah, I can assure you the ground was here before the houses.
Now,
although the neighbours sometimes kind of dispute that.
Now, how long has football been played on this patch of green?
Well, it's been a sports field, I think, since 1830.
Yeah.
1830.
So on the side. Okay. 1830s, a long time ago.
1830, but football since 1870. Right, recollections, just like oral history, don't quote me on it.
Right, so what's the difference between 1830 and 1870?
I think it was a cricket ground, a sports field.
So sport, and then dedicated
football.
to football from 1870.
It was formerly leased by Bart's Hospital. Before the previous lot who were here started playing on it, but no football team has ever owned this patch of ground. It was formerly owned by a brewery until Clapton Community FC come and bought it in 2020 during the lockdown.
Aha. So we're just going to get onto the community bit in a second, but the brewery bit. So there was a brewery on one side that used it as a...
Well, the pub on the side, see, there's an alleyway here. I mean, it's very difficult on a recording to visualise it, but it connects Disraeli Road to Upton Lane.
It's called the Old Spotted Dog ground because the pub...
The pub is called the Old Spotted Dog. The Spotted Dog it was called,
The Spotted Dog.
Yeah.
And the ground has always been connected to that pub name, or did you?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know about the history, but there are other people who know a little bit more about the history, but it's been connected to the ground, and most people who've either lived in Forest Gate or have family in Forest Gate, you tell them that the Old Spotted Dog, and they say, "Yeah, I know it."
Yeah.
I'm surprised it ever closed down, considering how many people.
Yeah, because it's boarded up at the moment. Is it going to come back online and become a pub again?
It is. It's had planning permission. I mean, like most of these kinds of things, the pub is an inconvenience which they have to do up to get housing on there. There's going to be flats on there.
Right.
And the pub will come back into use because that's the condition of the...
interesting. Yeah. Right, so it's not going to go. It's built into the future plans. Now let's talk about the ground. There are 3 or 4 gentlemen doing lines. I've already chatted, when I got here, I chatted to a couple of them. They're volunteers. That leads into the community bit of this. How does this football club work?
Okay, first of all, we're all volunteers. You're interviewing me today. I'm a volunteer here. After this is done, I'll be helping out on the merch packing.
The merch packing being like in the bar
in the clubhouse.
In the clubhouse.
In the clubhouse. And then kind of dutifully run back to work to fit everything in so nobody loses. How does this work? Well, in 2018, Clapton Community was formed in Durning Hall. That's another connection to Forest Gate. Durning Hall just by Forest Gate Station off Wood Grange Road.
Right.
Around about, I think, January 2018, we were supporting the club that was previously here, but there were kind of differences in the way it was run, several kind of issues that I really don't want to get into. Mm-hmm. But we decided that we would set up our own football club.
So that transition point, was it because the old football club was about to fold, or was it simply a takeover by the fans?
It wasn't a takeover. I mean, we set up our own new club. We got no connection to the other one other than we used to support it.
So it was a complete rebirth?
Yeah. We started from scratch. And there's
That must have been interesting. That must have been really fascinating.
Well, I mean, as a friend,
did you know what you were doing?
well, we figured it out. Right? Like most of these things, you start off on a journey without a map or compass, and then realise it might have been a good one to have these two items.
Yeah.
And, but we worked it out, and from there we found a manager who would be willing to manage us. He had a good contact book, so he could get players.
Oh, well, you literally set it up from nothing. You had to get the manager, you had to get the players.
We had to form the club.
You had to form the club.
The club was formed as a community benefit society. Not as a football club, but as a community benefit society. So everything we do should be for the benefit of the community. And that community, however it's defined, and the members get to do this. It's set up on the principle of a kind of a democracy that most people aspire to, but really have the will or the desire or the knowledge or the energy to do. It's one member, one vote. This truly is setting up the club. You know, most of the time, I mean, you don't look like a person who sits in the pub regularly, but when you do, right, you chat shit, and most of the time it stays there, and nothing happens.
Everyone's got grand ideas and grand schemes after a couple of pints.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But this is one scheme that actually came to fruition.
So, how many of you were the driving force, and how did you take a pub idea to fruition? Because there must have been lots of stops and starts, or was it a smooth glide to success and achievement? Bit
touchy. bit touchy because it's cloaked around kind of legal actions and whatnot of other things.
So it's complicated?
It's not complicated. It's pretty kind of straightforward from my perspective. But what I can say to you on a broadcast that will be public is something different. What I will say is that the previous charity that ran this ground was liquidated, and Heineken, who after several mergers of the pub and the different breweries, Heineken ended up owning it, ended up selling this ground to us in June 2020.
Right, so that was the bedrock. You got the ground.
Yeah.
Once you got the ground.
But we had 2 years intervening there before we got the ground, where we set up the club. We played our first game, I think, in July.
Right, so
we didn't have a ground, we didn't have a league to play in, we didn't have a kit, we had nothing.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
that's amazing.
You know, while I may not have had a map or compass, or many of us didn't have, but together we figured it out, right? And we became the map and compass. This is, if you wanted to look for kind of community action and something you can see kind of tangibly, this is it.
This is it around us.
This is it. And most people who come to the ground, I'm not sure when they come to watch matches, whether they know what the background story is, other than kind of, as you can see through the banners on the ground. You've not described these, but there is a political kind of emphasis here.
So there's rainbows, there's Palestinian flags, there's a plaque to something to do with the Spanish Civil War at the front.
Yeah.
There's little information.
The Newham volunteers, the 16 Newham volunteers who fought, and some died in Spain for the Spanish Civil War. They fought not for dictators or anything, they fought for an idea. And we remember them there.
That's great. So there's a linkage to the history. It's not like we are a completely new thing, unconnected to the past, but we are part of a...
The club is founded on the principles of kind of anti-fascism, anti-racism, anti-sexism. We have an accountability statement if you become a member. If you disagree with anything, well, then go and find another club. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And it's an open ground. There's a couple of stands. They're quite small stands, but basically when people come to these matches, they just stand around the pitch.
Yeah.
It's very much kind of like you're in it when you're here. I haven't been to a match, so I can't describe it.
Those of your listeners who remember football from the 60s, this is what you lost.
But maybe without the harsh tackling from the 60s.
Well, I wouldn't overestimate the standard of football either.
So financially, does everyone pay a sub, and is that what pays for the club? Are there deals with commercial organisations which somehow bring in finance? How does the business run, or is it a very, very minimal business because it's run by volunteers? So actually, the outgoings or the pay is not so important.
Again, it's a complicated story. First of all, the players don't get paid, the volunteers don't get paid.
Right.
Okay, you can occasionally do a bar shift, but that's about it. There's a kind of connection here within how does it run. All right. In 2018, we play our first game. Then we play another friendly, but at which point the members have voted for what kind of kit that we will play in, an away kit.
And this is quite important. The kit is quite important for fans.
Yes, the kit is very important. The previous home kit had, shall we say, red and white stripes, which we're no longer allowed to use.
Right.
Right. But the away kit was the one where we voted, where the members were invited. Well, what do you want the team to play in? So there was about, I think, 25 designs, and we voted on them. And then there was another round and another round to this one shirt in the colours of the Second Spanish Republic, connected to the Spanish Civil War.
Ah.
Right.
Interesting.
That was photographed by somebody at one of our matches, early matches. I can't remember. I wasn't at the game, but somebody photographed it. His friend was an Irish journalist based in Spain, who then tweeted it out. And from that moment, right, till now, we have sold 23,000 of those shirts.
Oh, how interesting.
Which gave you a nice little nest egg to do things.
How interesting. A random photo shared by someone unconnected then puts you into the minds of people in Spain.
Yeah.
And they see the connection.
Mm-hmm. And people in Britain saw the connection too.
Yeah.
And steadily it's been worldwide. The shirts have been sold worldwide.
They must look good. What is it? Is it red with a gold star? What is it?
Well,
describe
it's in the colours of the flag. Spanish flag.
Where is it?
Right. No, it's Second Spanish Republic. The anti-fascist flag. I'm trying to have a look if it's up here. It's not up here. No. But I'll show you when we get into the kind of clubhouse. There's lots of kind of photographs in there, and that sold 22. Last count about 23,000 so far, and still going strong. But the key point was, your question was, how do we fund the club? Through a mix, actually. So our matches right from the beginning have been well attended. Because when you come to this club, the team, the volunteers are playing for an idea, right? Not for themselves, for an idea. Not for just the team, but for an idea. And that is how community can come back together again, reconstitute itself into an anti-fascist, anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-transphobe kind of community that welcomes people. And how we can do things collectively. Remember, I got to kind of come back to kind of the ground and the start. So we didn't have a ground, we didn't have a league, but they were in our membership. Our membership started around about 150, grew to 300. We have about 1,600 members now. Until recently, you had to physically renew, and some of us don't remember, and so we have to
chase it up a bit. Come on.
Right. And so that's been good, but the membership is based around trying not to exclude anybody. So if you're down on your luck, retired, or just fancy to, want a lower price, you can become a member for £5. Right, and that's kind of concession. Then there is the standard, which is £10, and solidarity is £20. And many of the people you're seeing around here would have paid £20 because they believe in the idea, and they renew it every year. But that doesn't actually fund the club. What actually does fund the club from 2018 to 2020, around about when we got the ground, was the attendances.
Right, getting people through the gate when there's a game.
Well, we don't get them through the gate; they come, and they want to come again. I mean,
it's what you've described is a really interesting concept of coming for a sense of community, coming to be entertained by the football, to support your team. But it's not just about the result. It's about the feeling you get of standing with hundreds or thousands of other people around a football pitch
that share many of your ideas and your ideals and your beliefs and your values. That's what it's about. People, you watch a match for about an hour and a half maximum, right? But what are you doing actually in that hour and a half? You may speak to kind of people, you may kind of comment on the thing, you may shout the referee, you might shout at the players, you may think you can play better, but you're also saying how welcome I feel. I mean, I really would have wished, David, that you had actually come with your daughter, I think it is,
I've got a little daughter,
to the match to experience it for yourself.
I'm gonna make sure I come with her one day, maybe to one of the ladies' games. You have women's football and men's football.
The season is finished, well, nearly finished, but the home games are now finished.
Right.
We got the last match, men's one, this Saturday, where it's a promotion match. It's well worth turning up to. It's 3:00 kickoff, and I will then interview you on how you felt. And what you believe in, right? And what are you thinking? And it's not the physical infrastructure, although this matters, but it's also the people who inhabit it that matter. That doesn't mean it's a giant love-in and all the rest of it, right? Occasionally we do have arguments.
I was going to say. I was going to say you come for a feeling of comradeship and well-being, but it doesn't mean that it's bland, like differences of opinion.
Look at our banners, first of all.
Yeah.
Right. You can work out that we're not a kind of group that accepts the status quo. Right. We play in an organised league, so kind of our opinions, etc., are tempered on the pitch, but our team plays in our away shirts are in the Second Spanish Republic. They've got no pass around on the back of it. We have no advertising. As you can see, there's no advertising around.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? I hadn't even clocked that. Of course, there's no advertising.
Right. Yeah. Because we're not into... There is another way to do football. There's another way to use football as a conduit for community and to build community, to have infrastructure that helps to build community. Now you're looking across, and it's kind of slowly kind of jumping because there's so many things. It's not something that you can put into kind of one short podcast without a structure.
Yeah, of course.
Right. But if you look at the clubhouse, that clubhouse last year was booked for 187 times. Only 1/3 of those bookings were related to football.
That is well used.
Yes, so it's being used by community and community groups. We also incubate community groups. We don't charge them rent, but if they can offer to help out, they can. Because what we use is the money that we receive from the attendances, from the membership, from the merch, not only to run our own kind of football teams, because it's not just a women's team here or a men's team playing here. There's development teams. There's open access. There's lots of open access teams. There's kind of youth football. There's kids training here.
Open access, what is that? A mixed ability?
That's women's, women are non-binary.
Right.
And predominantly, it's for those that were largely excluded from football, because the FA did have a ban on women playing football for many, many years. Right, so Clapton community has more women's teams than they do of men's teams.
Oh, so teams plural. It's not just one team.
Well, we call it the men's first team, which is kind of plays in a league, organised league. Yeah. But there are other kind of, other kind of teams playing. The ability may not be as high, but the enthusiasm will be just as great. And they're playing for an idea, they're playing for a belief, and they're also enjoying it.
Just back on the advertising thing.
Yeah.
What about local companies, like companies which are in this area, which are small businesses? If they wanted to say, can we put a board up advertising our services? Does that not? Would that be? Could you see that as like a local community thing because you're supporting a local business?
The membership will decide that.
Right.
And we don't want to be advertising estate agents. We don't want to be kind of advertising any kind of spiv.
Yeah.
Right. There are values attached here, and if we lose a bit of money because of that, well, that's not lost money. That's preserving your values. And that's what we believe in. And I believe in it too. If there's kind of, say, trade unions or kind of social enterprises, why not? Right? We have no advertising on our shirts either. We're not walking billboards. Right? And we refuse to be walking billboards. There's another way of doing football. You don't have to be the richest club in the world and be in the Deloitte's League and all the rest of this. But saying that, the level that, for example, a men or women's teams play, they are the equivalent of the kind of the Manchester Uniteds of their leagues because of the attendances.
We're sitting in the shade of one of the stands because it's April. It's a bit cold in the shade, but it's warm in the sun. Can we take a turn around the ground itself?
Of course we can. Why don't we walk around so you can do the whole circuit?
Yes.
Yes.
Duck under.
No, just walk around. Just walk
around. Not tread on the hallowed turf.
Well, after the game, if your daughter wants to run on the pitch, welcome to. Go and play. Yeah? Tire yourself out until the parents are really happy when they know that they'll get a good night's sleep.
We've now got onto the pitch itself. Freshly painted lines by the volunteers. We're out in the sunshine. When you come here, Sukhdev, what do you get out of it yourself?
Sense of belonging. I can safely say to you that I own a football team. I own a football ground.
That's an amazing thing to be able to say.
with 1,600 other people, because you don't get to keep the assets or anything, but it's there in perpetuity. Yeah, we own this. Look what we built. We didn't get grants for this. The ground was bought for £100,000 from Heineken. Even though we had £100,000 in the bank because of our shirt sales, we chose to borrow the money because we didn't know how long COVID would last. But the one thing we did want to do was to preserve this asset as a community asset. And we did that by putting our money where our mouths and our values were. I'm very proud of that. And we built it. And they came. And they still come. And you can join as a member. And you too can say, it'd be a great party line for you, David. And you can say, hey, I own a football team. Well, what do? I own a football team and a football ground. I'm like, the sense of kind of confusion. It might improve your social life as well.
How, in terms of the people coming, you didn't know they would come. You didn't know that there was a guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have those kind of you have that kind of doubts, but there were enough of us who came together. And, you know, Durning Hall was full when we decided to set up the club, right? And yeah, we knew that we had a fan base. Right? I mean, here, like, why don't we go into the stand and we can have a look.
So it says. So there's a.
This is called the scaffold.
The scaffold.
This is where those into fan culture and ultras culture stand. This is where the original people who kind of were the background to the ethos that was here and that was built on 5 original people originally stood here.
Okay, so there was a history of 5 people.
The previous club, they came, and you know, at this level, if you get, and it's normally men, 2 men and a dog, plus perhaps kind of parents might come, you've done well. You know, it's a high attendance. Last weekend we had 1,300 people here in a league where the average is probably about 30, if that. Right, and it's not for me to answer why they come. It's for you to ask them. And why don't you put your microphone in front of them and ask them, what are you doing here and why are you here? They come for a multiplicity of reasons, but they come.
Is it based on people in the locality, or do people travel some distance because of what this represents?
Well, the vast majority, it's East London, but we got people from across the globe coming to our games because they've heard of kind of Clapton. We got people from, you know, around the UK coming. But yeah, it's predominantly kind of local as an East London club, although we're attached to kind of Newham, and it is a Newham club. But this is an East London phenomena, I'd say.
The some of the graffiti that's up, there's a sign there that says a no mobile phone sign. It's kind of, don't sit here and scroll. You're not here for that. There's a
you get a sense of
your heart is a muscle the size of a fist. Keep loving, keep fighting.
This is all kind of based around kind of fan culture. Look, there's Second Republic's flag there and over there on the flag.
So this can I unfold?
Well, there's that one. I think that one is the. Let me get you that one. This one.
Oh, purple, yellow, and red.
Yeah.
Excellent.
With a red star.
With a red star in the middle.
Yeah.
So that is what's on the kit.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-pointed star.
Yeah.
And you're
You're
holding it out. So it stays here, furled up, ready for the next game.
Yeah.
There was another bit of poetry just over here I wanted to read. Somebody's put a sticker on that says, "In the wind, the scaffold creaks like an empty rib cage. It could lift up and lurch like a beast. There is a fox asleep in its breast, dreaming of weekends when songs wind through it like breath." That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You get a sense of what's happening here. I mean, the Palestine flag. We've actually had a women's final in Maidstone cancelled, abandoned, because the league decided that flying a Palestine flag was a health and safety issue.
Really?
Yes. And what our players did, and something that I'm incredibly proud of. I wasn't there at the time, but when I heard of it, I'm incredibly proud. The players were given an ultimatum, right? We'll remove the fans and you can continue to play the final. Our players, got into the stands and started to wave the flag themselves. Right? There's values underneath this. This is not just football. this is something a lot more, and it's on your doorstep, David, and you didn't know about it.
I didn't know about it. I came across it by accident, by just simply cycling past the ground.
Yeah. And to experience it and what's happening, it's very difficult for me to convey because, like, you know, it's rather like you're in the middle of the storm, right? You don't know why other people, you know, bits of furniture are flying across you. You know, you don't know why people are kind of coming, but they're coming for a reason. And, you know, on a match day, if you've got time on Saturday, there'll be a queue. Just speak to them, ask them. You get the answer to that from them. It's not for me to answer for them. Right? But what we stand for, and you can check on our kind of website, and you can check on kind of our history, is that we believe in our values. And while we're not perfect, and I'm not saying that kind of there isn't kind of issues, but we try and practice what we preach. And that's something to be very, very proud of. I'm very proud of. I mean, it's just, now for me, I don't stand here anymore. This is called the scaffold. Anybody who's a regular and you say scaffold, they know what you mean. And one of the reasons is kind of the health condition doesn't allow me to stand in kind of static crowds, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I'm at every home game this season. Some away games. I mean, previous seasons I used to go to most away games as well. Yeah, we take a big following, and when the players come here from our opponents, in all likelihood, this is the highest attendance they've ever played in front of.
Oh, that's interesting. So they get a buzz off being here because they're in the most well supported team.
Well, they bring their A game, you know,
yeah.
because they've got an audience now, right? You know, and consequently, kind of our team has to up their game as well, right? Because they're used to it, playing it week in, week out under large attendances.
Do the results of the game in any way impact on how the club runs? Let's say if the game goes up a league, does that mean you have to run a different kind of football club? Are there certain forces about the game itself which you have to manage?
What you're saying is, higher up the league, does the bureaucracy get into you?
Kind of.
Yes. The answer is yes, it does. Leagues have different kind of requirements, but we've skirted around them. Right? We've dealt with them. Let me give you one example of this. We have to charge, we have to advertise an entrance fee to come into a match. But our lists of concessions are so long that if you don't fit, you clearly have come from Mars. Right? So if you're down on your luck, you just say concession. No one's going to ask you.
No one's going to ask you why
or much care why.
Yeah.
Right? You come in. You're not going to exclude people. Right? And that's, again, something to be very proud of. And what you find is that when people become aware of that is the policy, sometimes they put more at the gate. Right? They say, like, you're charging £5, yeah, take 10. You know? There are people, the world isn't just full of selfish narcissists. Right? There is still community and communitarian and kind of solidaristic kind of values there. And that's embedded in this club. And it's embedded in the kind of the attendances that come here. And it's embedded in kind of the people when they come here and when they leave. I hope it's been reinforced, but that you'll have to ask them.
Does it make you reflect about the wider opportunity for such kind of coming together in wider society? Because this is a rarity, is it not? It's unusual, both in the world of football, but also in East London, having so many people coming together for an event on a regular basis.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. Let me rephrase that. I contest that. I mean, some of the churches, particularly African churches, put large assemblies together, right? It's happening in different kind of communities we may not be aware of, right? But certainly kind of a football with these kind of values, yes, perhaps you're right. But again, the congregation does kind of develop in kind of West Ham or kind of Tottenham or Arsenal on a match day too. But on this here, when our team plays and it wins, I can genuinely say we won because we own the club, we own the ground. If you go and watch commercial football, yeah, you watched, they played, even if you've won. That makes a huge difference. Subtle kind of difference that you may not kind of sense immediately, but you say, well, hey, this is for us. And if you want to take this further, speak to the players and what it means to them. And that, they're not paid. They're playing for not only a team but for an idea. They know what the values are here. They know what our beliefs are. They know the fan culture. They know the membership. And they're here. And many of them have been playing for many seasons.
Also, I would expect that the feeling when you lose is also different because you still came together and you still had the event together. And so losing is not so bitter because the winning of the football is the icing on the cake, but it's not.
It isn't the cake.
It isn't the cake.
It isn't the cake.
In this place.
Yeah. Certainly for me, I mean, there's been occasions when I've actually forgotten what the score was, right? You know, this community, you speak to kind of people. I've learnt so much from the people who attend and are members of the club. I've learnt to kind of reflect on my kind of values, my beliefs. I've learnt, you know, from them. I've learnt different ideas, different kind of skills, and also what motivates them. This has been a learning experience, and a fantastic one at that. It's not been school, and nobody's actually told me I must do this. It's done through choice. And you could do it too. Anyone could do it. But you've got to believe in the kind of the ideas, not this kind of thing of, oh, that's all right, then I can do whatever I want. Well, no, actually it isn't. Right? There is kind of rules, but the rules are kind of as light touch as they can be, but you operate within a kind of a framework. And that framework is we operate through kind of committees. If you come to our game on Saturday, there'll be another display before the match starts. Right? And you know, the one previous week, 2 weeks ago, was called From These Streets We Built CCFC, Clapton Community FC. We built the club. Fantastic kind of moment. I mean, it's difficult to reflect because it came at a difficult time when the club was actually formed, for me, kind of personally, so it runs kind of parallel. Look what we've done. Yeah, truly, look what we, the emphasis on the plural, we have done. Not one person has done this, we have done this. I'm very proud of it. And I can't find the kind of the words to kind of express it any better. I'm very proud of it. When I come here, this is my oasis in a world that is pretty febrile, pretty messy, and pretty horrible. Things are getting worse. I'm close to 64. I've lived a life when they were bad, as I'm a migrant son, and just when you thought things were on a roll to getting better, they slipped backwards. When I come here, I don't get the looks of, what is he doing here? Even those people who come for the first time. You come in, you're welcome, hey, make yourself at home. You know, find a spot, make it your own. Right, and you know, if somebody's shorter than you is there, just move out the way and let them get in front of you. And the values that are attached here are my values. I closely align with them. I love the fact that kind of people feel that you can come together and you can create something different. Now we call it against modern football here, yeah? But I'd like to think that when people leave, they might not be members of the club, they might not be actively involved in the volunteering, but they feel, well, actually, if these guys can do it, so can we. And I hope they get off their asses and do something themselves. Because that's also something to be immensely kind of proud of. Because we don't count, measure, or kind of feel inspiration, but if we can be an inspiration for each other, that's great. What more could you want?